Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my page. My page is about common sense, um, alpha, indigo, sigma, whatever you want to call it, guys. Because I know you millennials be calling me all sorts of names because you can't do what I do. It's okay. I'm a gatekeeper, and you're gonna have to pay, all right, for my services. Um, but I'll take it to the grave, and I'll tell a few people I do shit for free, guys, for you guys. So I don't give everything out. But I'm not your average man. No, I'm not your Peter Pan. This video. Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my page. My page is about common sense, but I try to keep it down nitty gritty under 10 minutes. If it goes over 10 minutes, something very important. Not important to liberals, libertards, people believe in God, people like to smoke, people like to drink, people like ayahuasca, people like DMT. So if you smoke, you wear shades at night, you like tattoos, don't watch my videos. You should just skedaddle the motherfucking way off. Because you don't hear a message. You got insulted by my ad hominem attacks, okay? You're just too beta for me. You're beta. Alright, so let's get on with the topic for today. Today's topic will proper etiquette on how a woman should behave and proper etiquette on how a man should behave. So I'm not just talking about just women here. I am helping women out and men at the same time. Okay? I'm not going to talk too much of how women take advantage of men more, but I'm talking about the proper etiquette, how women should carry themselves when they're away from their husbands or away from their boyfriends. Because when you have sex, in my terminology, you have sex with a person, you're automatically married. The ceremony is what symbolizes your marriage. You do not get married first until you are confident that you know you're a virgin without your broken hymen. And for a man, he basically is naturally a virgin because until he gets his own shit, okay? Because he can't just be happy unless he's one of those 20% beta alpha males who's fucking around whoremongering, which most women keep preferring to choose those guys as fuckable individuals. Then that's them. So 25% of the men are whores and 80% of the women are whores, or you want to call them beta people, okay? That's how I see it, anecdotally, okay, right? So when you are in a relationship, as I said before, I get a lot of good pointers, but most people cannot follow them. You cannot follow these things. You have to test. You have to do psychoanalysis. You have to make sure you understand her past, especially her sexual past. And for a man, his criminal background depends on if he's a repeated offender, because the first charge may be fucked up, because the system is pretty biased against black men in particular and people who are broke. So minority to mean does not just mean your color, but how broke you are. Okay, all right. Because if you don't have the money, you can't fight back. Okay, all right. So if you're a man, you're a minority in the court. Got it? Okay, so you get the pattern what I'm saying here. All right. Now, if you have structure in your life, then you will abide by what I'm saying. If you do not have structure in your life, get out of here, okay? Because my videos are not for the particularly masses of asses, which most people who do watch my goddamn videos. And yes, this is the ring from my wife. My masculine ring for my ceremony, which of course I approve of. All right, okay. I have my other wives in Sierra Leone, and I'm traveling to Kenya possibly this year later on, okay? But I always put the videos out there so guys would envy me, and I don't do it just for, just for show. But anyway, let's get on with the topic for today. I was talking for 4 minutes about rambling on. Okay, yeah. Now, it's very simple. It's really not hard to have proper etiquette on if you're walking away from your boyfriend and your girlfriends. Men should not be focused on flirting with every skirt. Of course not. Because he knows what a whore is. He knows he's not going to be looking at a female. She may look nice on the outside, but it's stinky on the inside. He knows this. So you might compliment. You say, yeah, she got a nice little ass and little titties, but that's about it. But he's not going to go over there. Real men don't go over to just attractive women. Unless he's testing them out, doing the gold stick and standard, which I've already talked about many thousands of times. So you guys should do. Do the gold digging test with women. You'll notice most of them are just prostitutes. Modern day prostitution is real. But men, when they're alone and you have a girlfriend, right? Okay. Listen, you should look at everybody and you should not be walking up on nobody because you never know what mindset you are. If you have a girlfriend and your girlfriend tries to test you out, she will fail because you're into polygyny and you have a right to talk to other women to try to get a part of your crew if you got your shit together. Now, most men out there will not listen to this message. You should not be laying with no woman, okay? Especially if you're broke. All right? Okay. When you're broke, you can't get your croak. Okay? No money, no honey. You cannot fathom that you need a stable job. I'm just talking it like women know this. Okay? If you're a woman and you see a man, I might go over 10 minutes with this. I want to talk about etiquette too, and what to say, because women don't usually approach men, so it's not likely. So if a woman ever approach me, I'll be like, it depends on how she look. I'll be like, are you a virgin? Okay, to me, I would just be direct and I say, you look nice, but I do need to do some evaluation because I'm not attracted just because she's beautiful, right? So you can differentiate your cojones down there. Your head should not be controlling the head upstairs. That's a man. Now, if a man does not have his shit together, you should not be dating. The only thing you got is a goddamn car. What you gonna do? Have a family in the car? For a man, you better have your shit together. And as a man, I've learned that everybody needs their own home and space because women tend to get bored when they're underneath one roof. Okay, that's just the ones in my past, I believe that women are not capable of sustainability or being content with one man. They cannot do that under one house. They'll get bored of you. Okay, well, I'm not saying it's not. I've been saying most women are not capable of that. This is a fact for me, anecdotally. All right, okay, so we can clear that up. I said anecdotally, first-hand experiences. I've talked to hundreds of women and hundreds of men. All right, so we got that out of the way. All right, so it's really easy for men to have proper etiquette while they're away from their women because women don't typically approach men. Women typically do not approach regular, average, everyday men. This is a fact. Okay, we got it. Okay, we got that? That's for a man now. Proper etiquette is like, how you been? What's going on? What's going on? What's cracking? Because men naturally give to their woman when they get home. They either want some ass or they want their food cooked. Men are low maintenance. We already know this, and women should know this too. But they will not admit this. They do not have the capability to admit that this man is simple to understand. They will not admit that. Now, when it comes down to a woman has to be trained and taught. So I know there'll be women who hate me for saying that shit. Why does the men not need to be trained? Okay, because most men are naturally good. I know far more virgin men out there. I used to be a matchmaker. I just know so many guys who have never had too much pussy in their life and so forth. They're a better man than most, okay? But the more attractive a man is, one of them 25%ers or 20% of it, then that man is capable of cheating on you multitudes of times and kicking your ass. Why does the men not need fatherly guidance? It's because naturally they come to adapt. And most men, as a matter of fact, don't really get hit on by women. They eventually get their own place. They eventually get that shit in life. They know their adaptability and having hobbies is the biggest thing men have over women, and hands down. So the conversation is done with the proper etiquette. If a fatherly figure who is an alpha male teaches his son to be the way he's supposed to be, you'll know how intelligent he sounds. Kind of like myself. We got to have psychoanalysis in everything we do. We got to have our foundation first in everything we do. We got to have discipline in everything we do. We can't talk stupid and shit like a child. When I was 16 years old, I've spoken to pimps. So that's how alpha I am, because I've actually got the knowledge from true alphas, which I believe got their shit together because they don't play around. They use psychology. They make $30,000 a month off of used vaginas because they didn't have a father figure. And I don't approve of the abusive side and the manipulation that they take 80% and they only get 20%. But I can understand the system that works in pimpology. All right. I was more of the gigolo. So I said, can there be a way a man can make money and help women at the same time? Yes. An escorter, a gigolo, services. But I don't like to have sex with women. I'm a fetish gigolo, okay? You want to call it that. So I understand how simple men are. Now, when it comes to women, you women are going to have to be taught on how to speak and understand that a man is going to be lustful. Most men, beta males, doesn't matter. 99% of men will say things with the incubus spirit. Now, I'm talking some magic here. And they will say, because you know, when you look their way, they can see in your eyes if you are attracted to them. Men naturally know if you are attracted to them. If they have the training, if they've been with other women, they are going to know. I can say shit and I'm butt ass ugly and I know women are attracted to my personality. I know that's a fact. I'm a 7. Women are not attracted to average looking males. Average looking women are not attracted to average looking males. Average looking woman is basically a woman who like to wear fake nails, fake hair, makeup. This is a basic fundamental thing that you guys should know. If you're average, if you're listening to this video and you're a woman and you wear some sort of makeup, you are average. Most men to you are average looking, okay? Because if a man is super attractive, you'll fuck him behind the fucking garbage bin or in the alleyway where it stinks like fucking piss mattresses. That's what they told me. They'll fuck anything in the woods. And they'll get caught, okay? Because it's on Pornhub, okay? That shit is on Pornhub. Plenty of women who just happen to go meet a strange man and they need some money, okay? Or they'll see. I don't believe every woman on the OnlyFans are whores, okay? But I do believe that most of them are not virgins, okay? That is a fact, okay? All right, so we got that, we clarified that. Not all women on OnlyFans are virgins, okay? Or whores, okay? All right, we got that fact out of the way. So when you're trained, you have to know that when you're alone as a woman and a man compliments you and say, hey, sugar mama, you got to stop that in the tracks there. All right. Now, for a man, there's no such thing as a woman calling a man, oh, you was a fine piece of thing, because that will be a rarity. And if you saw that, you should add into that because that's rare. That's not likely to happen. And it's up to the man that you're with to say something to her to add on to the collection if she's that attracted to that man, your man, right? That's a good thing. But for you as a woman, if you was told, like to me, I've always tell you, if a man compliments you, it's okay. It depends on what is said. I'm not that jealous to say, oh, you know, yeah, my wife does look fine. Yes, she does. I wish I could share her. But we know, we understand. Because my women have all tight bodies. I do not play with juggler bodies, okay? Fat watermelon bodies, okay? Elephant, hippopotamus bodies. I don't deal with bellies, okay? If you got a wally belly, I don't do that. You got to pay me for my services to use the strap on for that shit. But anyway, I digress here. You as a woman has been taught to know that if a man says a sexual connotation connected to what he says and he's trying to get your eye, you got to watch that. You should walk away. That's the easiest thing. That's what one of my women did. You know, when a man complimented her in a sexual way. Or you can stand up to him and say, no, don't you do that. Don't you say that. Okay? You must stop that in the tracks. If you allow this man to say those sexual connotations, sexual, it says sexual, like pretty girl, okay? You know, just the way it's said. You know what he's doing. Okay, my lips are dry. And you better walk away or you better put him in his place. This must occur at all times. Because me, I always test my women. I always test them all of the time. This how I do things. This for my security safety. Okay, not an insecure safety, not a jealousy safety. It's just, why are you saying that? No woman should have a conversation with a man unless that man. Men know how to spark conversations with women by asking questions. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just questionings. I did this too many times to take away men who are way better looking than me with a phone call. Okay? I usually say to the guys, hey, I can take your girl away with a simple phone call. Okay? I want you to listen carefully to her words. And you pay me my money if she slips. The only thing I'm looking for is a phone number. Right? And that's the whole goal. To test them out with the phone number. I will make lies on the woman and say, hey, what's going on, baby? Baby, who's this? And you will say, I'm waiting for my boyfriend. Okay? That's good. If you said waiting for my boyfriend, or if you said waiting for someone, you're caught. That's a red flag. But if you say, if you say I'm waiting for someone, right? Instead of your boyfriend, you will get caught. Okay. And then if you say someone on the phone and it's a trick, okay, you're going to give your numbers. Okay. Okay. I always do this. The conversation doesn't need to last. You should be saying, my man is coming back. And then I'm like, it's great. So just hit me up with the numbers real quick. And I'll be out of your way. And then you'll see me on video chat. We'll just talk another time. See, she's going to drop the dime. Okay. And when she starts 1, 5, 6, you're done. You're cheating. You have cheated that man. You have to be taught. Okay. So your etiquette is when you're away from your husband or your boyfriend, because you're technically married. To me, you are technically married when you have sex with a person. That is marriage. Not the ceremonial aspect of it. That is just symbolic. Okay. The ring is only symbolic. It means nothing. Okay. It could mean something to you. Because everything has meaning until it's broken. Okay. To me, it means nothing. As long as it's there, it means something. But when it is broken, it means nothing. Overall, this focus on everything meaning nothing until it shows itself. Right? Because you could win $1 million and think you're a millionaire. But it means nothing if you lose all that money, right? You are not a millionaire. You was a millionaire. You were. All right, so you got that point out of the way. Okay? We talking for 17 minutes on how a woman should act. So let's say someone types you on the internet. All my women's faces are not visually shown on the internet. All my wives are hidden out of sight. And you may see them sometimes. And you be like, oh, she's a wifey material. There you go. Because if she steps out of line, I will ask you, pay your ass to get some money. Okay, to get her out of my life, honey. Okay, because I'm not wasting any of my time and my money and my efforts on any woman who fails my test. And the man should always be testing. And if you're a woman who's wise, you should be testing too. And I teach women. If you want to know if that male is a narcissist, okay, why don't you ask? Listen to me, women. Listen to me, women, and everybody in between, intersexes too. Ask that man if you want to be shared early before you get in a relationship. Hey, are you curious about sharing me with another woman? If he says, yeah, sure, you got yourself a winner because he was honest. Most men, 90% of men, prefer 2 women or more. Now, if he says, it's only me and you, baby, that's a cheating motherfucker right there. Most men are too beta. They will not tell you the truth. Most women are too beta. They will not tell you the truth. So when you got people who are not very honest, you got to test it. And you got to cut them. Especially when it comes down to the beginning of the relationship. You must make sure you make yourself very clear. If you're an alpha woman, you're upfront. Every time I dealt with my clients in the past, when I was a gigolo, okay, I will always say to them, we have to do visual conference. I need to see that body, and you're going to see my body, okay? You're going to see my body, okay, right? And then I meet. We conversate for a little bit. Then they pay. They got the money. No money, no honey. But that's the past. But these days, it's like a setup. Look what happened to Shay Shay. He didn't sign no contractual agreements like Hugh Hefner. He didn't sign any contractual agreements like Hugh Hefner. You got to be careful. White women are more dangerous than black women. Okay? Now, motherfuckers out there who talk about black women like dogs. Okay? Not talking about Kevin Samuels. He only taught about women for accountability and psychology, basic systematic things, which I taught him. I told him this. You will understand that the more dangerous woman is more of a white woman. And you got knuckle-headed Negroes who's thinking, oh, she treats me better. Okay, white women are far more dangerous than black women. I've dealt with ratchet black women, but I understood why they acted black ratchet. As long as I got my payment, I did services. I didn't care about their attitude. They always told me I was the perfect male. I have never been called a hateful, controlling male. I have never been called that. I've only been called that on the internet from the outside perspective. And that's understandable because you don't know me, right? But when it comes down to proper etiquette on how the connotations of what our woman should speak, this is how you should act, okay? Giving, sharing. Test that man out and say, hey, you want to share me what, you want to have sister wives? Okay, he's supposed to say yes. Do you understand me, women out there? I'm trying to help you out here. Now, understand that the natural essence of a woman is supposed to share your man. Okay, you're supposed to. I teach my daughters this. I said, you either want a small family or you want a big family. Which one? If you say a small family, that takes way more discipline. But the bigger family, you may think it takes more discipline, but you got other sister wives to talk to, so you keep yourself in check, right? If you get horny, that will be screened out by the man. Because me, I don't deal with nymphos. I don't deal with women who get horny on the fly. Like, I need some dick. Okay, I just don't talk to women like that. I have to test that shit out. But you as a woman, if you're holding, or if you got a piece of dick and then you, from your man, okay, and then you want more because he's not performing, then you play with the outside of it. Don't stick your fingers inside. That damages your vulva and everything else, okay, but you get what I'm saying. Women's vaginas change over time. And if some woman tells you, after I got my knowledge from gynecologists, women's vaginas change. They lose elasticness. Your value goes down. Did you know that? There's a nully pussy. There's a squeezer pussy. There's a flappy wappy pussy. Okay, there's types of pussies. I know that you are a hoe just by looking at the fucking. I know what the monkey is. I know what the large labia is. Basic female vaginal anatomy. Large labia, small labia, hymen. Okay, the griffin spot. You want to call it? I call it the griffin spot. Okay. The bean. Okay, the secret spots, the lubricants, all that stuff. You as a woman should be able to test. See the word test, question, okay, and feel that he is the legit type of guy for you. I know this seems like a lot, but if that man don't want to teach you, he's a beta male. He's not going to teach you. Because you didn't have a father figure and he didn't have a father figure, so nobody teaching shit. Okay? What else is there to say about women's proper etiquette? You should not dress a certain way. Your dress attire should be conservative, because he knows what's under, unless he approves for you to be seen by other males, then he's secure in the outside appearances. But your character away from him, for a real man, you'll be tested. But most men don't do this, okay? Because they don't want to seem like they're controlling or something like that, which is how narcissistic women think, okay? Because they don't understand that an insecure man means that he is caring. But being too insecure can be also a good thing. You should not have any secrets. See, this is where most of you women will disagree. Give your man your phone. Don't try to have a backup phone. Don't do that. Okay? That means you're whoring around. Your phone should always be open and available to your man. There should not be Instagram accounts. There should not be Snapchat accounts. There should not. It's completely forbidden. For real men, everybody's real if you have a little bit of jealousy. The jealousy is like 10%. Okay, you're concerned. I see this. But overall, in time, that jealousy will add up because certain things are not spoken about before you got in the relationship with the person in the first place. So if I made myself clear and told you no men, straight up, you should understand what that means. I'm going to explain it to you. Okay? When you're going to work and you're socializing, there should not be great conversations between whores of Babylons, because whores of Babylon are ordinary women into prostitution who talks about their husband like a dog. Don't get in those conversations. I know gossip may seem interesting, but somebody's husband doing something to someone, you should not get involved at all. Okay? Stay away from women who are distraught and they are in misery. If you are in misery, speak to your man about it. Most men can handle that and they'll probably give you sex or roses. Men are simple creatures. Women have said this too many times. Women have said this out of their own mouth. I am not talking from my own feelings here. I'm talking from experience. And in actuality, I wanted to be an officer of the law. I wanted to be a part of the military. I have no means or no interest for family, but until I got in trouble with the law, and also because of the pimps who got a hold of me when I was 16, I kind of like had a switch in my mind. They're liabilities. A man is always going to think you are a liability. Your job, it thinks you are a liability. That is alpha light. You have to keep that right there. You're a liability. Women, employees are all liabilities. So what do you do to protect yourself? You don't want to get sued, right? See that little piece? Liabilities. If a man don't have that, okay, what will you do to me? Men are not liabilities to women. I disagree with any woman who tells me that. I said, you chose that man. Where the fuck is your father at? You can't be choosing men on your perspective of what a man is. Yeah, he got to be attractive. Fall for your type. But where is your father to choose the man that you're supposed to be with? Nobody really talks about this. I talk about it. But trust me on this. The proper etiquette for a woman is difficult and it takes time. But for a man, it's easy because he naturally adapts to society. But for a woman, you have to literally rewrite every fucking thing you learned. Capiche? I learned this not from my stepdad. I learned it from pimps. And the pimps are corrupted in the way they are because they focus mostly on money. They are about business, straight up. The more focused a man is about his health, that's the pinnacle. If a man is like peak condition, then he focuses on the money. That's fuck them used vaginas. He does not fuck used vaginas because if you fuck used vaginas, they get you. Okay. So you see the order. Health, his health is first. You add to that man. You are not equal to that man. You have to be subservient to that man. Now, I'm not saying for this for all women now. There are a few diva women who do polyandrous, what do you call it? Polygamous, what's the word? Polyandry. Okay, polyandrous women are all over the place because they always cheating on their husbands and their boyfriends. But there are women who are straightforward and they want multiple husbands. They want multiple dicks. They basically like that. If they get pregnant, they don't understand the values of family. They don't care about that. Cleopatra syndrome type bitches, okay, divas, okay. I call them diva bitches or even witches sometimes. Okay, they deserve as much cock as they please because they're truly nympho. They love that cock, okay. I don't love pussy like those women who are nymphos and men who are whoremongers who love sex. It's not good to love sex. You should like sex. Okay? So, I digress here. When you have a father figure, you have stability in your life. you judge according to tests, and you ask your father figure, what man should I be with? You're on the right path. Are you staying with your family members? Are you being taught like how some Gishi girls in Japan? Are you taught how the etiquette, the feminine in your energy? Are you wearing fake clothes? Are you... Hey, a lot of people call Chinese people racist because they keep everything in the family. Okay? And they tend to forget that there's people of color who are just as intelligent as they are. But you have to squeeze your way in there somehow. You have to be likable. Okay? Unless they're racist, then they don't really like that color. Okay? Because an Asian woman who is black is way more attractive than a woman who's white. Okay? You know. There are people out there who think vanilla is tastier than chocolate. Yeah. And there are people who think shit tastes better than bacon. Okay, yes. So, I think I said a lot in this video. Maybe too much. But the proper etiquette for a woman is very long and arduous, and you will always be tested by a real man, because you will not take advantage of him. And for a woman, I've listened to and heard a feminist woman talk to me, and I'll try to agree with them just to hear what they have to say. They told me they're just angry and they got hurt so bad, and I'll be like, okay, that man hurt you, but do you think all men are like that? And they will say yes, not realizing the fact that men are suicidal mostly, and not realizing the fact that men build everything. They don't care about that. They're too angry. They have cats. They don't care about their health. They don't care about keeping in shape and all that. The angrier they get, the more colorful their hair gets. But I get into their minds, and I used to get my payments and get the fuck out of Dodge. Okay, right? Okay. I don't play psychological games. I usually tell them this is what's going to happen, and they think I'm not around, but I'm always around. A man, for proper etiquette for a man, you got to be like this. I know I got traps for her. I'm not waiting for her to get trapped one time. It only takes one time. You told her it only takes one time to lose my love indefinitely. And the only way to even be acquainted to me is the payment. But it should be payment from the beginning, but you know. Men love too hard, okay? I know this by fact, okay? Anecdotally, I don't want to consider comparing myself to people who I don't know, and statistics on the internet. That internet stuff is beta information. They do not have the deeper psychological for people who are highly sophisticated. It's not there. You have to ask Google for the answer. Say, Google, can you look up the psychosis of a narcissist? Can you do that? And then it'll give you a basic synopsis, okay, of that terminology. But there's many types of narcissists. But in general, narcissism means a person who only thinks of themselves. And they do not show that much affection. And it's usually a woman who is a narcissist, okay? And if I ask that question, who is more likely to be a narcissist? Do this yourself. And it will tell you, it will say, this is undeterred confidence, but obviously you should know who's the bigger narcissist. A woman is always more in the camera than a man, okay? A woman is wearing makeup, obviously, but it's not going to tell you that. You don't ask Google, where does the term Jesus come from? Is there any evidence? Don't ask those questions to Google, because they won't know those answers, because people are not constructive enough to ask questions like that. Asking questions are keys. If you die, okay, right? Now, this is beside the point here, the proper etiquette and proper, respect you should have for your opposite significant other. When you die and you start asking questions, you automatically become self-aware. It's just, Socrates is the wisest of all Greek philosophers, because he always asked questions. And then it's King Solomon, okay, the wisest of all men, because he controlled the demons to build for him, and he was working with God at the same time because of the ring of power, okay. Other than that, I don't know anybody else, okay, who's smarter than those two. But anyway, that's all I really got to say, guys, about proper etiquette for women and all of the stigmatisms, okay, with, taboos and all that, okay, with men trying to talk to women. It's very easy to debunk it. It's very easy to remove yourself from the equation so you won't get sexually aroused. Because I showed the video a little while ago where a woman who just played a man, and that man did not look unattractive at all. Maybe it was his cock size. Maybe she was just not thinking clear. She was not trained and taught. And she blew herself out because it was a skit. And I need you guys to do this. For you women, men are usually not pulled by money, okay? They're not pulled by money. They'll think it's a trap, okay? So you women, what you women can do is try to pull a man. And go to a man. It's not going to work, though, because you're average looking basic, okay, right? Go to a man and do what the men are doing. Reverse the psychology and see what happens, okay? And go to men and say, would you want to be with me? And you're ugly. You're unattractive now, okay? Just remember, you have to be unattractive. Most guys will talk to you even if you are unattractive and give you the benefit of the doubt, okay? So this is why it won't work. But just go to a man and let him reject you because you're just unattractive. And then you get in your car. Can men be gold diggers as much as women? Hell no. But why don't you make a video about that? Go, rent a car and then go to a man and say, hey, how you been? What's going on, guy? And you're cute. Okay, no, don't even act cute. Okay, just act average and ugly. Okay, and see what happens. He says, no thanks, no thanks. Get in your car. Your expensive ass car, right? And then the next thing you know is he going to run back and say, hey, I'll give you a chance because of your car. See if that works, okay? I've not seen it yet. Interesting thing that I want you women to do. And even if you're a hermaphrodite or a transvestite, do that and see what happens. How many men you can pull because of money. Okay? Because of money. And I want to see them videos done. All right? So I gave you women a blessing. And you guys can probably do this with your sister girls, okay, whatever. And try to get and see how many men fall for the gold digging trap. Because I don't get pulled by money. I had plenty of guys who want to fuck me up my ass for 100,000 or some shit. How much you want for that booty hole? Your virgin booty hole? I said motherfucking zero. I'm like a Dave Chappelle when it comes down to rejecting $50 million because I don't want to wear a dress. I'll wear a dress for $50 million. Okay, Flavor Flav got some money for it. But you got to understand, Eddie Murphy, he wore dresses, and nobody talks about him because he's the real McCoy. He's a true comedian. Eddie Murphy's definitely more funnier than Dave Chappelle. And Kevin Hart, he only exists because he spread his cheeks, So other than that, that's what I heard, okay, But a lot of people were popular because they had to spread their cheeks, okay, you're not supposed to do that. How low will you go for money? Other than that, I'm out here, guys. I love you all, but I despise many of you because I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. Y'all have a nice day, guys. I gotta go take a shower now and take care of my cats. And I should make a video. Who is more dangerous, a man with dogs or the man with cats? You can make a video. You can make a video. Other than that, I'm not your Peter Pan. And y'all have a nice day, okay? I hope you learned something from this video, women. All right? Now, if you have any comments or questions, or if there's something I'm missing, you know how to contact me in my Facebook, okay? This video is 16 seconds long. So 39 minutes and 20 seconds long. I'm out of here. Peace.